The condition is really crazy condition.
I mean, that shouldn't give away the whole secret to professional windsurfing.
Matteo Iachino giving Antoine Albo a run for his money. Here we go. What a finish.
The guy is kind of talking bullshit.
The team's just got to work a little harder.
Welcome to the Windsurfing podcast. And this week, I feel the need for speed, because this week we have the fastest woman in the world. Yeah, we talked to her about where she learnt to windsurf, which is an absolutely crazy story. Wait till you hear that one. We talked to her about sailing in Luderitz down the channel. How does it feel? How did it feel to break the record? We talked to her about everything involved with speed sailing, you know, the costs involved, how much effort goes into all that sort of stuff. We talked to her about equipment setup. We talked to her about her aspirations for the future and where she sees it going. Yeah, this is an absolute banger and a really interesting story. Who is it? Well, it is, of course, Heidi Ulrich.
Heidi, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Maciek. Thanks for inviting me. I'm good. I'm tired, but I'm good. Thank you.
Are you in snow-covered Switzerland or?
Yes, at the moment, yes. 1 more week, then we go south as well.
Yeah.
Heading to the warmer weather and windier weather, and yeah.
Are you speed skiing?
No, not really.
Breaking records on
the water, not on the frozen water, on the real water.
Yeah, actually, like winter windsurfing is super fast. Like on the skates.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. It's incredible fast. They almost hit the 60 knots, I think.
Yeah.
2 or 3 years ago, they had incredible speeds. Huh? I have to try this once for sure.
Yeah. I tell you,
Have you tried it?
I tried it, but I never really got into it because it's really technical with the gear and stuff. But already the stuff that I tried was already really hard to stop and turn. It's like really it goes. Yeah. But once you go, you kind of...
It would be maybe a good training for Luderitz because there is also super shitty to stop. So
yeah.
Maybe it would be good.
It's crazy, yeah. Congratulations on your record. A bit overdue, but how does it feel to be the fastest woman alive?
Still crazy. Still crazy. It's still a bit hard to recognize it, but yeah, it's cool. It's pretty cool. Not just the world record over the 500 meters, so also the fastest girl ever on a windsurf gear. That's super cool. Yeah. Yeah.
So because I was checking your Instagram and Googling and whatever, what is the actual number? 4706, 4707, 47.17. There was quite a few different.
On my motion GPS, I had 47.2 knots over 500 meter and 49.94 on max speed. And the official, not yet ratified world record over 500 meter is 4706.
Yeah. So they're still ratifying it.
Yeah, but that's normal. You normally have to wait 4 till 6 months, but it should not be a problem because the video timing is already ratified. So
yeah,
it has to be ratified by WSSRC, but it should not be a problem.
Yeah, but on the WSSRC website, you're already there as a record holder. So I guess...
Okay, I didn't check it. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. I checked it because when I started researching and getting into it, you know, we obviously have this thing that windsurfers used to be the fastest, right? For many, many years out of everything that's, outright fastest. And now it's obviously, you know, the sail rocket with 65 point something. Yeah. It seems a little far reach for windsurfing, but for a woman, it's 50.25 by Charlotte Consorti on
yes, I know.
In kiting.
She was on a kite. Yes, she was on a kite. Yeah, we never know, huh? We'll never know what the future will happen, will bring, what will happen. We are working on a small project together with Patrick for 2024. So let's see. I have already the nautical outright world record, but not the outright. So we will see. But I think, to be honest, 50 will be super difficult for a girl. I mean, I checked all my runs and all my results from last year, and I think 48 should be reachable if everything comes together. But 50 on the 500, I'm not sure if it will be reachable. Patrick think yes. And Karin are not sure.
Yeah, because we are looking like you are the last, our last possibility to be the fastest outright,
At the moment.
Yeah.
We will see.
Yeah.
We will see. I don't stop now. I am not retired now, so
Yeah.
I'm going on. So maybe it will be possible.
Yeah. We'll get into what needs to happen and all the technicalities and stuff. But we went into the future. Let's go into the past. Normally, the question I hate the most out of all the questions in every interview is, how did you start windsurfing? But with you, it's actually interesting. You're maybe the only person that it's interesting, because you started in Luderitz, right? Is that correct?
I started speed surfing in Luderitz, and I started how to.
No, but like windsurfing, you started in Namibia, yeah?
The first time I did windsurfing at Lake Garda, but how to use the straps and how to use the harness line, I started in Luderitz, yes. while Patrick and Remo were on the channel.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. It was crazy. It was super hard. Just me and the sand sharks and a lot of wind in the bay. We had all day long over 40 knots of wind, and I had to use the foot straps and the harness line. Otherwise, it would have been a bit stupid.
Yeah.
So I learned it very quickly.
Yeah, and it was only 10 years ago, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, I started windsurfing in 2003. No, 13 in Luderitz. 9 years ago. Now it's the 10th year I'm windsurfing.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's
I started very old.
Yeah, but for anyone that says windsurfing is so hard and whatever, I think this is a really good example, because obviously you had some great mentoring, but it just shows
that's true. It is very hard to learn, I think. You really have to how do you say, you really have to want to do it. Otherwise, I don't know. But for learning, I think is one of the most difficult sport.
Yeah. But what dragged you into it? Because you said you really wanted it.
Really, at the end, it was the channel. I saw the guys going down this fucking fast channel, and I said to Patrick and Remo, I want to do this also. And everybody was laughing. And if I want to do something, I go full until I do it. I did it. So, yes.
Yeah, I guess now you can ask them who's laughing now.
Yes, true. Still last year in Luderitz, some guys were laughing and some guys tried to give me special advices, but I was so focused on myself, and I think at the end this was one of the best thing I could do.
Yeah. So it was straight away like, okay, I'm gonna start windsurfing, then I'm gonna go speed sailing, and I'm just gonna
I started in 2013, and I did my first DEFI in 2013 without foot straps and without harness on a 125-liter free ride board and a 4.0. And it was so crazy. Patrick said, you can do it, no worries, it's flat over there, just come and join us. And I did it.
And you actually finished with no harness?
I finished all races, yes.
Fuck, do you have like a, I don't know, like some pull-up bar background, or how? How? I mean, I can't imagine with no harness.
It was hard. I can remember very good. It was one of the most stupid things I did in my life when I think back now, because it was windy. The whole 5 days it was windy, over 35 knots every fucking day.
Yeah.
And everybody
Yeah, no,
everybody looked at me like I'm a stupid idiot with my 125 liter board, you know. And I thought, what the fuck are the problem of them? I didn't understood it this time. So
yeah, no, I'm saying that's crazy, because one time I did like I did a kids contest in Grisson also, like in very, very early, and I still also didn't know how to use a harness, and you know, the wind came as it does in Grisson. We were in the lagoon, and my hands, they were like, I had blood all over the sail, and it was a slalom race, you know, of maybe 5 kilometers, you know, or whatever, and you did 40 with no harness. So that's, yeah. But this is like you have some sort of sporting background, or it's just you are just stubborn as fuck?
No, I played before volleyball in the inside and beach volleyball as well. Beach volleyball also international level. And then I met the Dietan brothers, and none of them played volleyball. So they were always at the beaches with wind, and I was always at the beaches without wind. So I had to choose which kind of sport I want to do in the future, and I choose windsurfing. And then I traveled around together with Patrick, Karin, and Remo. And if you travel around with them, you have to learn it. Otherwise, it's super boring.
Yeah.
And everybody knows Patrick and Remo. I think they are not really the best teachers if they have to if they have to give advices to someone. So they went out as soon the wind came, and they said, here you have your gear. Try to rig it, and as soon you can rig it, you can go out as well. So, okay, fuck. What should I do now?
Yeah, I think you fell into the guys with the most most nerdy passion, like, you know, talking.
Yes.
Like, you know, sometimes Patrick can knock on your door at 2 a.m. and like, I have this idea. So
yes, and then as soon if you give him a piece of paper, then the whole night is gone.
Exactly.
You have to discuss the whole night, but it is interesting as well. So I really learned a lot from them. So without them, it wouldn't have been possible. They are really, 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 really great person. Yeah.
Yeah. So soon, basically, now that the two speed sailors that I interviewed was Tuan and you, both played volleyball on a good level before. So
also
maybe that's
playing volleyball.
Yeah, maybe that's some sort of theme that you need to play volleyball to become a speed sailor. I don't know, but yeah. But this is what I wanted to ask you, because you did it quite recently, and let's say that somebody wants to get into speed surfing, speed windsurfing. Like, I want to get into it. What do I need?
Well, I know that you don't want to get into it, but
no, I will.
Be honest.
At one point, I will, but
yeah. Well, if you want to go fast, you just have to try every session. Just go downwind and don't be afraid of the speed. Just try it and enjoy the feeling. And as soon as you get the feeling of being fast, you want to go faster anyway. But if you want to go into speed, try also in a bit higher wind. Try a smaller board on the same sail size, or maybe a sail size bigger than you use normally, just to get into this feeling. And the most important thing is don't be afraid and enjoy every single session, and try to hold a big sail as long as you can, because you need to get into this feeling as well, and try to get as soon as possible to a smaller board.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because when I saw the pictures when you beat the record, and it says a pretty big 5.2 on your sail, and that's crazy, because I think Antoine used the 5.2 and he beat his record. and you're probably
Yeah, I was.
around
Yes, I
30
was
kilo
always on the
lighter.
same sizes like the boys, always. I tried the 5.0 as well, but even in 2019, when I was on Neil Pride, I had the 4.8 and the 5.2, and yeah, the 5.0 or the 4.8 is working for sure as well, but you really need the pressure. You really need the pressure, and as soon as you are on as you went around the corner, you need the pressure, and I was always on the 5.2 or on the 5.6. Because the run of 500 meter, it sounds very short, or it seems like very short, but 500 meters are 20 seconds, and in 20 seconds, everything can happen. And in 99%, you always have a big hole in the middle of the course. And if you then have a sail which is too small, you fucked up.
Yeah. Especially when I think that's why the 2-meter guys are so good, because they just create way more leverage and kind of they don't get underpowered anytime in any type of racing. The tall skinny guys they are always good in underpowered conditions.
They can lean out a bit more with their leverage. Yes, they can lean out a bit more with their leverage, and they have nearly no pressure anymore on the board, and they normally just go through.
Yeah, you create fin pressure.
I mean, yes.
And short people like me struggle with this always. And this is a little bit crazy that that you use the same sail size, probably like what 16 kilo of lead, but still the guys use similar. No, guys use 12, 14.
The guys are always using 15 to 20 kilo of lead. Yeah. But the guys are normally on 39 or 40 whiteboard, and I was on a 37 and 33 whiteboard.
Yeah, but the record you beat on a 37, which is also quite interesting, and it really shows that when you think about speed, you think like, oh, it's so windy, you're so overpowered and whatever. But the more I listen, the more I understand. It's like, okay, these super tall guys go good with short harness lines. You use a sail that is the same like Antoine's. It's like you use a 37, like you have a 33, should go faster, but it doesn't, right? Because you need to accelerate. Yeah. It
depends on the conditions, and also the fin. I was using an 18 fin. And to be honest, the channel is always choppy, always, because the angle of the channel is a little bit too deep, in my opinion. And that's why we always have from the middle to the end. Sometimes we have chop like knee high. And if you then are on an 18 fin, that's a little bit scary. And I think also a bit too small. But I had one 18 fin, which was the oldest one, which was so good. And I never changed it because I trusted this fin. And soon we don't had that much windy days last year. And then there are not so many days or so many options to test things. And at the end, if it's windy, you have to go with the gear, and trust it and just go full.
Yeah. But it sounds like, like you could be on smaller gear. The day could be better. The channel could be better. So it sounds like there is quite a lot of potential still.
There is still potential, yeah, for sure. That's true. I think in the channel is a lot of potential. Maybe and Raffaello Gardelli, the organizer, want to try it this year to make it a little bit less downwind. So let's see what's happened. And also in the gear, I put the new sail out of the bag just one day before of the record day, and I didn't change anything, no batten, no spacer, no camber, nothing. I just put the mast in and I went down, and I think there would be a lot of potential as well. And let's see.
Sounds like this 50 point. You need like what, 50.3, 50.4 to get the outright one.
Yeah, 50.3. Yeah. We will see.
Yeah. Did you know straight away, like when you went down, did you feel, of course you check your GPS, but let's say before you, because you've done so many runs, you know what's a fast run, you know what is not a fast run. Did you know straight away?
To be honest, no, because as I said, last year we had 2 windy days, 2 good days, and these 2 days were the 2 last days of the event. So we were 3.5 weeks there without wind in the middle of fucking nowhere. Everybody was already a little bit dizzy and disappointed. And then I was always the first person on the channel and the last on the channel, and I started also on this record day. I started already, I think, at 9 o'clock in the morning, and the guys weren't even there when I started. And the first 2 runs were quite easy because it was super square, it was super flat, and I was too light. We had already around 35 knots of wind, but I wasn't fast. I did 40 and 41 over 500 meter. Then Christian came and put some lead in my weight vest. I did a 3rd run, then I made 43 something, and then I wanted to stop because I said to him, to Christian, it is too square for me. I have really no chance. It's super flat. It's flat like a baby ass, but I have no chance to push more. And maybe I will make a break and wait until the angle changed a little bit or the wind pick a little bit up. And then Kristen said, no, I put 2 kilo more leads in your vest. Go again, because I feel the wind is getting colder, that the angle will change now. And then I said, well, okay, give it another try. I jumped on the board. It was really a shitty start. I came around the corner, and I felt the wind was coming not anymore square. It was coming a little bit from behind. And I tried just not moving anything. And it was so smooth and so easy. And it didn't felt fast, to be honest. And at the last part of the channel, it was already choppy. And I thought at the end, well, it was just another run. I did a lay down. I braked. I went back. And while walking back, I watched on my GPS, and it was 46.9, and the run didn't felt that fast, to be honest, really not.
Yeah.
So then I was crazy happy, and no one was there. Just me and the blackies who were helping with the gear on the trailer. And I said, I just want to go down, please. And then all the boys were at the starting area and still not in the wetsuit. They still didn't rigged at this moment. So it was quite early, and that was so crazy.
Yeah.
And then I jumped into the starting area. I went again, and I did 47.2 straight away. And then I came back again. I went again into the channel, but then it was already too late. The angle changed already, totally down, and it was already choppy like hell.
Yeah, but this is crazy. This is crazy because everyone I talk to, it's like it's so much about the conditions and the magic run, and of course you were there before everyone. So early bird plus boyfriend support plus a lot of runs.
Yeah, especially a lot of runs. A lot of the boys were laughing and said, Heidi, why are you going now? Don't waste your energy all day long. You are the first who is going down the channel. You every day, if it's a little bit windy, you do more than 10 or 20 runs. Why? Don't waste your energy. And at the end, I said, that's why. Sorry.
Yeah.
If you don't do as much run as you can, you will miss. You
did the Deafy Wind without the harness, so I don't think you need you need energy for a 30-second run down the canal.
Yeah, true. No, but I mean, if you want to go for a world record, you really have to be that well prepared and that well trained that you are able to do during 4 weeks 20 runs a day. I mean, if not, you don't have to go for the world record. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, this is the thing that you were laughing that I don't want to get into it. But if I think that you have to go to Namibia, to Luderitz, to the middle of nowhere for 4 weeks with not so much stuff to do there, shitty internet, one cafe in the whole city and in the whole town and stuff. I mean,
No
it is,
ladies, nothing.
yeah.
Really nothing.
How do you guys not go crazy? Like,
Well, I had my boyfriend with me, so for me it was fine. I had everything I need. To be honest, I had a lot of wind, a lot of wave, a lot of sex, so all fine. No, to be honest, I mean, if you don't have enough wind at the channel, you have Diaz Point, and you have a lot of beaches with waves, so you can go wave sailing or surfing almost every day. And on Diaz Point, you can almost surfing every day because there is always or every day more wind, around 10 or 20 knots more wind than at the channel. So easy. You can go to Luderitz with a 6'4" and you sail every day.
yeah. But then would it not make sense to just dig a canal in Diaz Point then, if it's so much more windy?
Yeah, it would be nice, but to the how do you say, the run will not be
long enough.
Yes, you have a perfect bay there, vortex side, but the bay is around 250 or 300 meter, and that's not enough. For training, it's just perfect. Or maybe for a speed contest, for a short speed contest, it would be perfect. It would be very nice. Also, if someone wanna go train some speed and do some, I don't know, safari in Namibia or whatever, just go to Luderitz, to Diaz Point. Or if you're in Cape Town and if there is no wind and it's boring, why not driving up 13 hours or 10 hours and do some speed over there? I mean, it's really worth it for sure.
Yeah, but it's not like anybody can really just jump and go and be fast. I mean, you spent
that's
countless days in France, countless days all over the place to
that's true. I mean, I remember my very first day in France in Le Rouet, in La Palme. I mean, my very first speed day there was around 34 or 35 Vmax speed, and I thought, well, really? I mean, I saw all the speeds the guys were doing over there, and I thought, well, that's super easy. Just go there and take a speed needle and go fast. But it's not like that.
No.
It's really not like that. You really need so many days on this small speed needle board to get used on it, to get the style or to get the stance. I mean, it's totally different than slalom sailing. Totally different. You cannot do the same style like in, I don't know, Verde or Sylt with almost 40 harness lines. Just put your ass out and go to the boom. I mean, that's not fast in speed sailing.
Yeah.
So even some slalom guys have some problems to get fast on the speed needle or on a speedboard with around 40 to 50 knots of wind, because it really needs a different style, and that needs a lot of practice on these small boards, and it needs a lot of fail until you get there. It's really not that easy. I mean, a lot of people are thinking, easy, just take a little smart, go to La Palme or go to the Netherlands, to the speed strips, and you can go fast, but it's not. Really
no, I don't think. I mean, I think nowadays already so many people tried. I don't think anybody thinks it's so easy. But how often do you crash, actually?
Lucky me, not that often. Especially not in speed sailing. I mean, it's at the end, it's part of the game. But in slalom sailing, sometimes at home for sure, because there is some wood or whatever in the lake, especially in winter time after the winter storm. And in France, it depends on the sandbanks or the incoming waves. because I'm a stupid idiot and go always that close at the beach, always. I always say, yeah, it will work. But I never ever had a super hard crash. I had once in Le Rouet, but not at the beach. I had once in the almost channel next to the beach, the line. I don't know if you know the line. Pierre Mortefon was also on this channel once, and I thought one day 2 years ago we had around 55 knots, and the angle was too north, so it means too deep for going out in the bay. And then me and Laurent thought, well, why not trying this line? And we tried. We walked first the whole line, and then we sailed until we both crashed, and we both crashed all our gear. Then we stopped. And this was so far the hardest crash, but it was not that, how do you say? It was not that crazy. I didn't broke something, just the boom and the sail, but nothing else.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Speaking of different canals and stuff, what makes, because when Luderitz first came in, I don't remember actually, 2007 or something, or 8, something like this.
Yes, in the bay. They were in the bay first, and in 2012 they came with the channel, or they built the first time the channel.
Yeah. What makes it so good? Because I mean, you say, okay, it's too downwind, it's choppy, it's not windy enough. Everybody kind of complains that it could be a lot better, but still, it's by far the fastest place we ever seen for windsurfing. So what actually makes it so good? Like you said, you tried this other canal in France, and there was the one in Sainte Marie, and
Yeah, in Saint-Marie de la Mer, I think this channel is too square. I mean, you could use this channel on both sides, starboard and board tack. Means it was really square. Otherwise, you couldn't go both sides. And now it's too much seaweed in, I think, because nobody uses it.
Nobody
anymore.
takes care of it. Yeah.
Yes, true. And in Luderitz, the windiest season is from October until the end of January. And windiest season mean you have minimum 1 week per month with wind over 50 knots. And I mean, this condition you can also find in France for sure, especially Grisons, Port-la-Nouvelle, or La Palme. But in La Palme, is not allowed to build a channel. I mean, Principe Baldini is trying since, I don't know, 10 years almost to building up something there together with Pascal Macca and all the guys. But I think it's super political over there, and that's why it is not allowed to do something. But to be honest, if you just look from the wind side, it would be the best place on earth to do it. And for sure, one of the easiest to get there for everyone all over the world. Because Namibia is Africa, and you have an airport in Luderitz, but you're not sure if the planes could fly or not, or flying or not because of the wind. And the angle, I mean, the channel is there since 2012, and it's always at the same place. They have to dig it. It's how do you say? It's a place where it isn't allowed to do something because it's protected. It's nature protection. And I don't know. It's kind of a thermical wind. It's kind of a how do we say? I don't know how do we say it in English.
Yeah, it funnels in between. Yeah, yes, in between exactly. Some mountains. Yeah,
exactly, and that's why it is like that strong, especially over there. And as I said, it's kind of a thermical wind. But even if you speak with the Namibian, they cannot really explain why the wind is blowing, especially there, that strong, because it's stronger than in South Africa and it's stronger than in Swakopmund. And at the end, it's the same wind and the same wind system, but it isn't the same. at the end. And we talked to or with a lot of people, and nobody can explain why exactly this place is that windy or windier than every place along this coast. And I mean, I'm not complaining about the channel, but I think in 2012 the channel was built for the kiters, because Sebastian Catalan did the channel, and for the kiters the angle is quite perfect. I mean, they need a really deep downwind angle, especially if they do the slingshot, and then they have to go that deep. And after Sepp Catalan, Raffaella Gardelli came, and I'm not sure if they dig the same, especially the channel at the really same place or not. But it's still a little bit too deep. And I mean, maybe also the wind system changed, I don't know. But especially last year, almost every day when we had wind, it was too deep. And on the last 2 windy days, when we had really strong wind, we had 2 till 4 hours in the afternoon, which were not sailable, also not for the guys, because the wind angle was too deep. And I mean, you don't want to spend that much money, and you don't want to spend that much money, and then you have to sit on the bench and wait until the angle maybe changed or not. And that's why I think Gardelli is now trying to do it a little bit less deep, because it's really needed. That's how that's how they figure it out the last years.
You mentioned the money. How much money do you need to go to Luderitz? To, let's say, not to go to Luderitz, but to actually pursue a world record?
A lot. I mean, you know it. I mean, just you need the gear, and you don't go to Namibia, to the middle of nowhere with just 1 board. At the end, you need for sure 2 or 3 boards. And you need for sure around 4 sails. I mean, you need a bigger and a smaller sail, double.
Spares,
because you never know if you crash. Yes. You need the spare sails, the same with the booms and the masts. And then you have 2 opportunities. You can fly to Windhoek in Namibia and then drive 8 hours down to Luderitz, or you can fly to Cape Town and then drive up around 10 to 13 hours. And to rent the car is not that expensive. Living over there is not that expensive. It's especially for us European is quite cheap.
You mean for you Swiss? For Polish, it's a bit different.
It's almost nothing. No, but if you compare to us in Europe, it's quite cheap to live over there, to be honest. And the flight is, it is how it is. I mean, it is always around 1,000 euro. But then one of the cheap, the most expensive thing is for sure the start money. I mean, we have to pay 1,250 euros per week to start over there, and the contest is running 4 or 6 weeks. So it is.
So five grand entry fee.
It is around 20,000 easy if you stay there for 6 weeks. Easy.
You need the fins, you need the buttons, you need
the LEDs, everything.
The LED. Is it true that you have 4 weight vests on yourself? I mean, because they need to. The rule is that the vest needs to float with the LED in, and you need to float also.
Has to float with everything you are wearing. Yes. Straight after the world record run, I have to lie into the water to show them if I'm floating or not. And I mean, I'm 70 kilos, and if I have 16 or 18 kilo of lead on my back with one vest, I'm going down like a stone. So I was wearing at the end 3 weight vests and a lot of bubbles in the weight vests. I put some bottles around the leads, and I had to take a deep breath, and then I was floating.
Can you actually move in all this gear? I mean, it's
Yeah, a little bit.
yeah,
It's enough for going on the board and go down the channel.
yeah,
But yeah, to be honest, I mean, with all the adrenaline, you don't feel it that much. And I mean, as I mentioned before, you're well trained anyway. And during the day, you don't feel it, but at the evening, when
at
you
night.
put out the weight vest, you're like newborn.
Yeah, yeah. I can imagine. Booms. You don't use an asymmetrical boom. And I
Not
saw an
anymore.
interview that you say you prefer it that way.
Yes.
Physics,
To be
any
honest,
physician
I
will disagree with you. So tell
yeah, I
us.
know, especially Patrick. I know.
He's not a physician, but yeah. Physicist, sorry, not a physician. Physician is a doctor. Physicist.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
No, to be honest, I was on a wave boom, and it worked.
But you
There
can
are
still make
so
the wave boom
many.
asymmetrical, right? I mean, you can cut the other
You
side,
can,
reinforce the, yeah.
yes, you can. But no, to be honest, I think the boom is not the biggest issue to going down the channel. It's the biggest issue when you are at the end and you are not thinking about that you have an asymmetrical boom and you sweep the sail, then the sail will fly away because you cannot hold it on the other side. Then it's an issue. But to go down the channel, I think, no, that's not an issue. Really not.
Okay. Because everybody else does it. I mean, you just came and just, yeah.
Bam. On a wave boom. Yeah. No, I really think I discussed a lot with Patrick, or we discussed a lot with Patrick, because I also made a lot of asymmetrical booms with Patrick and Remo during nights and nights and nights. But I think there are not a not asymmetrical boom is not creating more turbulences than an asymmetrical boom. Really not.
Okay. I mean, you have the record to speak for it, so you can. No, but I wonder if you tried.
I tried. Yeah. I tried.
And
not
you felt worse. You felt worse just because the boom was thicker and whatever, or what?
No, I didn't try it last year, and I'm not sure if I brought an asymmetrical in 2019, but I think neither. And before in 2017, to be honest, I was not good enough to feel some difference. So after 2017, I never ever tried an asymmetrical boom anymore. I went then on Neil Pride, and I trained with all the Neil Pride guys, and they were always using a wave boom. Nobody used an asymmetrical boom, and I mean, they were the fastest in the world so far. So I thought it couldn't be that big issue if they are going that fast with a wave boom. So I tried it also, and it felt good. And I mean, I prefer anyway the wave boom, especially in speed. They are not that thick. You can hold it super good, and for me it felt really perfect like that.
Yeah.
Another discussion in speed is the harness lines, the length of the harness line.
Yeah, this is yeah. I mean, it's something that it's quite unnatural, let's say, for a slalom sailor, especially if you're now into foiling a little bit. Foiling is even next level. I don't even know how long my harness lines are. It's just as long as I can reach the boom, it's okay. But I kind of understand why. We kind of discussed that you are actually not, you're going so broad downwind that you're actually not that powered. And the only thing that is interesting is that Antoine, it kind of goes with that slalomy style, you know, and yeah, he still has the record to show for it. So it's I kind of understand both sides, and it's interesting, you know. Yeah, once I finally get myself on a speedboard, I'll definitely try one and the other, and it's interesting. But for sure, you know, when you go down when you slingshot on a slalom board with your setting that you use for going crosswind or slightly downwind, at one moment when you hit a lull, you just overshoot and feel the rail that you're standing on drop into the water. So then you want shorter lines. It's normal.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, in 2019, I was close to the world record. I mean, I missed it at the end by 3 knots. And then I was using 22 harness lines. And I really changed the whole style till last year. And I'm on 34 till 36 harness lines now. Yeah. And I think especially in speed, especially if you're that short like we are, you really need it, because otherwise you cannot lean that much out that you should, especially with the weight where you're using on your back. I think you really need it.
Yeah, that's interesting actually, because this is another, you can, you lean out, you also lean back, you kind of create a little bit of a bit more fin pressure, and that's interesting.
Yeah, especially that deep. I mean, you have to lean back and out as much as you can. You are really just on your toes at the end, and you hold the boom really with your, I don't know how you say, your
fingertips.
And especially that downwind, you really need that leverage out, and especially if you're not taller than 170, you really need it.
Yeah, that's super interesting, because I thought you were using like 28s, which is still sort of short, but 32, 34 is super long especially for, for somebody like you say 170 tall. That's really, really long. And
to be honest, at the beginning I had some problems to get used on it, but now it feels so weird if I go back to the smaller ones. I really feel like a monkey on the boom. I cannot move anymore.
But when you speak to Vincent Faulkners that uses 24s or 26s and is 2 meters tall, what does he say? What does he tell you? Like, did he try also?
I mean, it's totally a different stance. I mean, he's much more bigger. He has much more another leverage than I have, and he has the boom totally low. I am using the boom at the same size like I'm on slalom sailing, especially with the Patrick sails. I have to put the boom a bit more higher. I can not handle the sail anymore if I put the boom fully down. And on the Neil Pride sails, you really have to put the boom totally down. Otherwise, you cannot go full into speed. And Vincent is using the boom fully down, fully. And I mean, then it's clear that he don't need that long harness lines anymore. Like if the boom would be a bit more high.
Yeah, because this is what I would kind of think, that when you say there's a lull in the middle, and from slalom we always think like you want to tune for the lull. If you don't have power in the lull, then you will not go anywhere. So I would definitely put the boom super high. That kind of, if I'm thinking about going really broad downwind, I would put the boom super high first and then see what harness lines length feels good, So it's funny. When I see those super tall guys with those super short harness lines, it doesn't look fast, but they go fast. So
it looks so
what
weird,
can
to
I
be
say?
honest. If you see, Hans Kreisel is using, I don't know, around 20 harness lines.
Yeah.
And it looks like, I don't know how.
Yeah.
It looks so
the other
special.
thing is, I wouldn't like to crash in 20 harness lines.
No, never. But Hans is anyway a totally different guy. I mean, if he's chiping, he go out with the front foot first. So I mean, I've never tried this, and I don't want to try this. So
Yeah. I had one question written down: why slalom guys go into speed and why speed guys don't go into slalom. But I guess that's why. If you take your front foot,
maybe that's one of the answers. Yeah, but to be honest, well, now it's a little bit different. But when I was starting windsurfing, the most of the speed guys, I mean, not Patrick and not Antoine for sure, but a lot of speed guys couldn't sail out in the bay. They couldn't chipe. They could do nothing. And maybe that's why they really can just go on the board, hook in, go down, hook out, and stop. Nothing else. And the generation is changing a little bit now, and you can really see that and feel that, and that's quite cool. The speed generation is now going a little bit. The age is going a little bit down. It's not only 60 plus anymore, and that's cool.
Yeah, you must have. Yeah, you were the youngest in the hotel, I guess, or in the little. I don't know how you call this.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only girl and one of Caro was younger. Caro van Tonder.
Yeah. So we mentioned slalom. Actually, one more thing. So you go down this run, you see 47.2, second world record run of the day, or even third. I don't remember. But the Vmax is 49.94.
Yes.
Yeah. You're like, fuck.
2 times. So fuck. 2 times exactly the same Vmax. I was like, fuck no, please, come on.
Yeah. Because this is really nothing. We were talking before, like, I think people don't realize how every half a knot or every knot is super hard, and you need magic conditions and magic wind and whatever. But I mean, 0.05 on Vmax, especially on Vmax, is really nothing, right? It's like a little fart of wind into your sail or something.
Yeah, 0.02 is around 19 centimeters, so it's maybe 30 centimeters, and it's nothing, but it's still quite a lot. So but one of my goals was next to the world record for sure, the 50 on my watch, and I didn't peak this one. But this would be, well, I cannot say easy. You always have to work for it, but this is reachable for sure. The 50, the Vmax 50, also on 2 seconds, should be reachable easy.
Yeah, this will happen sooner or later, I guess. And so I would assume that you're going back there this year, or
this year not. No, I think this year I cannot make it with my work and all the other projects around. But if everything work out, I will go in 24 again. Yes.
So every 2 years you go, more or less.
No, to be honest, I said 2022 would be the last one. But you can always go faster. And if you once fixed or addicted, you want to go faster and faster again. But I was talking to Patrick and Karin, and as I mentioned before, we're gonna try something out next year, and then maybe it will be the last time.
So we should expect some small revolution for
Maybe Patrick will join me. We will see. I'm working on it that he will join me.
There seems to be, like, when Namibia started, when Luderitz started, the record bag, it kind of opened and boom, and there was 50, there was 51, 52, 53. And, now you obviously beat the record, the women's record, but it did seem to kind of slow down. And every time it slows down, there is a time for like a small revolution. I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like it was, I don't know, in the 90s, there was a push, then it kind of stopped a little bit. Then Finian did his records, actually, because Antoine and Robbie and these guys, they were doing theirs, and it goes kind of in cycles. So now Antoine has his project. You mentioned you have maybe something also. What do you think is the future? Because I think there must be something. We just don't really know what it is yet.
I think, well, it's hard to say what the future will bring, especially with the foil now. But so far, it's not possible to go with a foil in Luderitz. That's for sure. Otherwise, they have to dig a lot. And then it will cost for sure also more than now. But at the moment, the channel is, quite deep enough for the rules, but sometimes not really deep enough for our Finns, especially in the Finnish area. I'm not sure. I'm quite not sure. I'm thinking the foils will coming in the future. for sure. They will get faster for sure. It will take some time, because at the moment I think, well, that's my opinion, the foils are not stable enough to go faster than 40 or 41 knots at the moment. But
Yeah,
I mean,
nobody did VMAX of, nobody did the 2 seconds of 40 yet. So that just shows.
Not yet, quite close. I mean, Nicola
Yeah.
is quite close, but not yet. But the technology is still developing a lot, and I don't know. I really don't know. For the moment, I think as soon the channel will be a little bit less deep, with the same wind we have the last 3 years, the guys can go 54 over 500 meters. I don't say easy, but they can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, especially Vincent Valkeniers. I was there last year with him. I was there in 2019 with him. I train a lot with him, and he's so talented. And he really has a crazy feeling for this speed gear. And I think if everything fits together like it did in 2015 for Antoine, it will be reachable. The 54 will be reachable for Vincent for sure.
Yeah.
And for the girls, I'm not sure. It depends also for the conditions. I think the gear we have at the moment is super good. Every brand, I mean, Neil Bright for sure, Patrick for sure. Even when all the guys were laughing last year in Luderitz because I was the only one who was using SDM masts, they thought it will not work, but it did. And yeah, I think there is still a lot to develop for sure, but the gear is still so good. So as soon all the conditions are working together, it will be possible anyway to really break new records in a higher level.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of, it's not, nobody does it really professionally. There's no huge pool. It's just based on passion, right? People like Patrick or like Robert Stroy, that he likes to just design and see how it goes, and people like that. And I feel like the sailors are a little bit the same way, that you don't really get many, I don't know, like weekend slalom sailors that, I don't know, that love to compete in their Sunday series so much that they will drive 1,000 kilometers or 1,500 for the forecast. You know what I mean? And in speed, it's just this community, it seems so passionate. I wonder what it is, having not done it myself. I mean, I guess, of course, what it is, but if you can tell me a little bit what's so addictive and what brings all the people to one place in Europe on a windy day. And
well, I think at the end, it's for sure the adrenaline. I mean, in speed, it's the need for speed for sure. I mean, you can compare it maybe like if you're doing wave sailing. As soon the waves are getting higher or bigger, the adrenaline will push you more. And as soon you ride a bigger wave, you want to have another one. I mean, yeah, I think that's what it is at the end. If you have a number on your watch, you want to beat this number. And then you beat this number and you want to, and the feeling was nice and the feeling was cool and the feeling was great. And you felt like, I can do it better. Or there are more possibilities to go faster and faster. And I think, you can really, I think you can compare it with wave sailing. As soon you have ride a wave which is mast high, you want to get higher waves for sure. Or if you were jumping, like, I don't know, if you made a front loop, you want to do a backy maybe as well, or then you want to make a double or whatever, or a push, or I mean, it's kind of passion, and you can push you in each discipline. You can push yourself, and if you are addicted and if you are dedicated, you will push you anyway, and it doesn't matter in which discipline. in speed, I think it's quite special because we don't have a World Cup. We have almost no races during the year. The biggest event is really Luderitz, and that makes it so unique and so special, because if you want to go to Luderitz, you really need a shitload of money. Otherwise, you're not able to go, to be honest. And during the year, Principe Baldini is pushing a lot, for sure. So you can do some speed contests in France. But there is nothing else. There are the contests in France in June and in October, but nothing else. And it's not really a World Cup. It's not really prize money in. And
yeah, I mean, you have a running world ranking
Yeah, I mean,
on the website, right? I mean, there is the GPS speed surfing that you can go any good day. You kind of
yeah,
have
you have different rankings. I mean, you have also the Dunkerbed Speed Challenge, but at the end, it's cool for sure. I mean, they do something. It's a cool opportunity to measure with the others, but it's not like an event on the same spot, and you can compete on the same time against the others. I mean, it's quite cool for sure, and it is an event for sure, but it's not the same feeling like you have when you do PWA on the same spot the whole week with the same people on the same start line, go. And yeah, you really have to love this. You really have to be alone on the water with your watch, with nobody else. And that's quite a different feeling, like when you do contests like PWA. And as I said, there is not that much money in, like in PWA or IQ at the moment. And it's also not that interesting for sponsors, for event sponsors, for sure. Also not, because it's not a kind of a World Cup. And yeah, I think that makes it also difficult for the organizers, you know, for the organizations. And then you need passion. Otherwise it will not work. Otherwise you cannot be faster, or you cannot push yourself without passion. I mean, you need the passion to go on a speed spot in the Netherlands or in France or UK. Also have some nice speed spot just by yourself, mostly alone with your GPS, in conditions like 40 to 50 knots of wind, so not really chill conditions. And then you
always cold,
and you have to try. Always shallow, always cold, always sand in your eyes, in your ears, and everywhere. Yeah, I mean, it is risky. It is not chilly. It is not really surf feeling. It is just, you need the passion to go fast and faster.
Yeah. But it has to be addictive, because I've never seen anybody go in and not get addicted. So
yeah, that's true.
So it
Try
must be. I will. But I have so much going on. I cannot at the moment. I cannot. I will. I promise I will. It's FMX even has a board.
You can still be the first who is beating the 40 knots on 2 seconds on a foil. Go for it.
That's true.
I want to see you crashing.
That's true. But I think exactly. I was about to say. I think it might be safer to go 50 down this little canal in Namibia than to go 40 on a foil.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but try it.
Yeah.
Try. I mean, it's also not that easy to go down this channel, this 5 to 7 meter wide channel. It's super narrow, especially when you go the first time around the corner. It's really crazy, this view you have in front of you. And then at the end, I mean, the finish is always too shallow, always. And you know exactly, now I have to brake as soon as possible, otherwise I can die.
Yeah.
And that's the most mindfucker on this event in Luderitz, the finish, for me.
Yeah. No, for sure. The faster you go, the narrower the road gets in the car, you know? So I can imagine, I can see how narrow it is. And then, as you say, the finish looks definitely tricky. And for you mentioned you might do something different and in 24 try to attack again and whatever. But anything else you want to do that's maybe on your list? I don't know, slalom or something, you know, completely that we wouldn't expect?
Not really. I wanted to be honest, before the foil was coming, I wanted to go to do some PWA, but to be honest, I really don't like foiling. I really don't like foiling. I'm really the fin girl. I can do it. It's okay, but I don't really like it. So in windsurfing, I think I will stay on the fin for sure, and on the speed needle for sure. And I have so many other hobbies which I like to do, like hiking, climbing, snowboarding, mountain biking, downhilling. So I don't know, maybe free riding, snowboard free riding, world tour. Who knows? We will see.
This is cool. Very, yeah. Yeah. Heidi, thank you so much for the chat. Really appreciate it. Congratulations once again.
The same to you. You did it well as you did it nice as well last year. Congrats to you as well.
Well, nice is stressful. I would put it.
It was totally stressful.
Yeah.
You destroyed more gear than I did, for sure.
Definitely.
Good luck for your season as well, Maciek.
Thank you. And I see you around. Definitely somewhere windy. Last time I saw you, we were reading 75 knots on the wind meter. So
yes, and the day after I did my open ocean record. The day after we had not 75 knots wind anymore. We had only 65 and we went out. And I did my open ocean record with 46 knots.
Yeah, which is freaking fast too.
Next time you have to stay.
Yeah, I'll get aboard and just start doing it, you know, somewhere on the side, maybe here in Tenerife. But, you know, when it's windy, it's also wavy. And then, like we said about wave sailing, it's tricky for me to not go wave sailing. But
I understand. Cool.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it.
See you on the water next time. Yes.
See you.
See you.
There we go. I hope you liked that one. Definitely one for the speedsters out there, and a really great story from learning to windsurf in Luderitz to breaking the record there in pretty much record time. Crazy. If you did like that episode, let us know in the comments below. Let us know who else you want to see. Do you want to see more speedsters? Vincent Waldner's, I think, could be a real good one. He's a young up-and-coming speed sailor. He's been so close to breaking the world record. I definitely think we should be getting him on. But like I said, let us know in the comments below who you want to hear from. Massive thanks to everyone who chipped in the beer money. And if you do want to help the channel out and help these things keep going, you can also chip in a bit of beer money. But you can subscribe for free. You don't need to pay to watch these videos, but a donation is always great. That's it. Like the video, and we'll see you for the next one.